Hi, everybody. We are live. Yes, we're live on Facebook and other different social media platforms. My name is Dawn Block. I'm with Century 21 First Class Homes. And I did put out this week, I'd say probably like a week ago, I did put out a kind of like a little tickler out there, letting everyone know that I was going to be sitting down with an insurance person. So let's talk about insurance because that's a subject that nobody really talks about, and everybody might have a lot of questions. So I thought it would be a good idea to bring my special guest on board with me to talk about some of the hot buttons of the of homeowners insurance, and we're going to talk about that. Right, brief. What I also want to do is mention if you see this post, give us a like, share this with your family and your friends. This is all great information. I'm going to now turn it over to Raghu Sundara with Allstate Insurance, and I want you to introduce yourself. Just tell us a little bit about yourself and let us know how people can get in touch with you.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Dawn. I really appreciate you letting me be on your show. My name is Raghu Sundara. I'm an Allstate agent here in Elk Grove Village. My office is located right here at the corner of Beeserfield and Meacham Roads in Elk Grove Village. So actually, I was born in Elk Grove. I grew up in Schaumburg area, right down Meacham as well. And I currently live in Elk Grove.
Awesome.
I was in corporate America for about 18 years, and I went to Conant High School before that. Graduated from Purdue. And so I've always wanted to open up my own agency, my own business. And so 3 years ago, I opened up my own Allstate agency here in Elk Grove in the same community that I grew up in.
Sounds awesome. Sounds awesome. And I like bringing on people that have businesses of their own because I feel that we all should support our local businesses. And this is why I come out and do this. So Raghu and I were going to be talking about some of the hot buttons of homeowners insurance. And one of the things that we should start off, just let's start off and say the number one. I want to go over the number one. The number one is an important one. And it's like, what should people do when they're looking for their insurance agent? What should they look for? What should they do? Give us some ideas of what we should look for when we're looking for an insurance agent.
Yeah. So the one thing is it's relationships. I think people like having a relationship with their insurance agent or anyone they deal with for services, especially when you're talking about protecting things that you care about most, like your car, your home, your motorcycles, and other toys that people have. So I think accessibility is another thing. So being able to get a hold of your agent when you need them the most, or at least their office. We're in a call menu environment nowadays where a lot of companies you call, you have to dial different prompts. So you might have to hear a message and then they say for this department, option one.
It's awful. I was just doing that. I'm like, it drives me crazy. And then I get mad. I'm like hitting the zero. I'm like, give me the operator.
And there's rules against that where it doesn't let you just error out and then penalizes you even more sometimes and makes you start all over. But a lot of times that's time consuming and then there's no really personality involved there. So the other thing is can you get it? What time can you get a hold of your agent? So are they accessible after regular business hours? Dawn, you're a realtor. You're 24/7.
Yes, pretty much. Pretty much.
So during the home buying process, you are 24/7. Mortgage lenders are 24/7 a lot of times. And so why not have an insurance agent that does home insurance, ask them, are they 24/7 to be accessible as well? Because a lot of times what happens is home insurance sometimes is the bottleneck of why home closings don't happen sometimes, or at least the paperwork.
Yes, they need the paperwork. Now, are you available for your people?
I am.
Are you accessible?
I am accessible, even by text.
Text.
At the bottom of the screen there. I mean, so that's my cell. I only have one cell number. I don't have a business one and a personal one. That's just the only one I have. I don't know if it's business or personal. It's both. So
It's
you
both,
could
okay.
text me or call me at any time. If I'm not accessible, if I'm out somewhere, I have two people on my team, Allison and
Awesome.
Ron. They have their cells that I would give them, or I would just say, "Hey, Allison, Ron, who can call this person, Mr. Jones, first," and we would take care of them in a
Awesome.
timely manner.
So that means a lot, and that I think people do look for that, because it's the worst thing to have, like you said, the worst thing is to be put into that telephone answering machine and you never get the call back or whatever. So you're right. I think that's great that you are accessible and you have people that can help you be accessible in your business. So
Exactly. And as far as, for us, our motto here is we always want to be the best part of our clients' worst days.
oh,
And
that is
the only way
good.
we do that is be accessible for them. And, you come through on that promise when that worst day does happen.
And that is good to know. So be sure to call Raghu when you're looking for your homeowner's insurance because of that. And so many more other reasons. But hot button number 2, talk to us a little bit about water backup versus flood coverage.
Yeah. So a lot of people don't realize that flood insurance is different than water backup coverage. Flood insurance is for example, the Des Plaines River. There's a lot of homes that are built on the Des Plaines River or near the Des Plaines River. And so surface water, when surface water comes into the home, that's flood insurance. Your lender would let you know whether you're in a flood zone or not.
And I was just going to say, we do as a realtor, if I'm working with a client, we like to check that through, we have our program that we can check and see if a property is in a floodplain or not in a floodplain too, just before we go out. But we know that the mortgage companies do a flood cert to see if the property is officially in a floodplain.
That's a good point. Definitely have your realtor or your insurance agent first, because if the lender finds out, that might be a little too deep in the process.
Right. Exactly.
You're putting him, you're keeping him out of harm's way. So a lot of times
we try to do that. Yeah.
So, and then what water backup coverage is say, if you live in these Elk Grove houses around here, especially the one I live in, it's a tri-level. And so, there's the bottom floor where it has the sump pump pit, and there's a sump pump, and I hear it working in April, May, June, July. Those are the 4 months where it rains the most, right? And so you hear that working. And so if that water came up through that pit, right, whether it be a basement or the lowest floor, and it flooded my whole basement with water, and it ruined my flooring, my carpet that I have down there, my couches, my TV, my furnace. Water backup coverage, if I have it added on my home insurance policy, would cover for that. It doesn't come automatically on a home insurance policy. So your insurance agent or insurance company would have to add that as an endorsement, and there's an extra premium that goes along with it. But there's that extra value of coverage, because even if you had to dry out an unfinished basement with water, a lot of times it's going to cost at minimum $2,500 to dry out that mold and other things like that from generating.
So it's always good to get, so that's something that somebody would have to ask you. Somebody walked by. I'm waving by. But somebody should have, they would have to ask you that they want that coverage, correct?
Yes.
They have that, so we can add it on. Well,
Absolutely.
That's good information. So the next coverage that we have is, and I know that we had this in Elk Grove Village, I don't know, it was about 2-3 years ago, we had that hailstorm. So let us know a little bit about hail, wind versus all perils insurance.
Yeah. So there's those months, so April, May, June, July, hail happens the most. We know that. So what a lot of people sometimes don't realize, when you check your home insurance policy or you're buying a new home and you're getting that quote, in some cases, the standard flagship deductible industry in average is $1,000 deductible, meaning if a fire happens to your home, you're going to be paying $1,000 out of your own pocket before the insurance companies pays for the rest to rebuild your home, right? Repair your home, put it back to where it was before the fire. But on a hail and windstorm, there's usually a different deductible. Now they could be the
Oh,
same. That could be 1,000 as well. So just making sure that hail and wind deductible is $1,000, or at least you know what it is. So if it's 2,500, at least you know that you're prepared to pay $2,500 out of your pocket before your insurance company pays the rest for a new roof or siding, or
okay.
either or. Just
So
so
we're
you know what your out of pocket costs are
Oh,
before.
definitely. So you have to, so everybody should double check with that. Everybody should
Absolutely.
stay on top of that.
Yeah.
Very good. So the next thing we're going to talk about is the roof age. You have what it impacts your premium. Is that what you were? Is that
It
so?
does.
Yeah. Let us know a little bit about that.
Yeah. So I'll just give you an example. The newer the roof you have, usually the lower the premium your home insurance is going to be, because it's rewarding you for having a newer roof. There's a less likely chance of you having damage or have water come into your house from a hailstorm to your roof than if it's a 25-year-old roof, say.
Okay.
But say you have a 20-year-old roof versus a roof that just got a new roof from, say, 2019. On average, I'd say a $1,500 home insurance policy, it's going to be about $500 savings. So you're going to be saving about $500 a year having a newer roof versus on your home insurance
Yeah.
versus a 20-year-old roof. So when you're going to buy a home, just know that you can't decide between the two homes. Go with the home with the newer if everything else is equal. Now that doesn't always come to play, but
No.
that's a pro if it's a new roof, right?
That's good to know. Definitely good to know. So the next question we have here is now scheduled property. That's another hot button. What can you tell us about scheduled property?
So a lot of times, and the most common, what I would say is scheduled property is jewelry. When you get in jewelry, and scheduled meaning you're listing the item on the policy for extra premium, but it's extra.
Oh, okay.
So say there's a $6,000 engagement ring that the spouse owns, right? And they're writing a home policy. We're writing a home policy for them. They're buying a new home. And they should add that to the policy, because typically most home insurance policies would only cover up to $2,500 for that ring if it was stolen or lost or in a fire, gets ruined in a fire. So it only covered $2,500. So they have to come up with the other $3,500 if they want the same ring, right? To replace it. Versus if you add it to the policy by supplying the receipt or an appraisal for the ring that shows what the updated value is, then we can list it or schedule it on the policy, and you pay a little extra premium, but then it's covered anywhere in the world, whether it's lost or stolen for any reason, without any deductible in most cases.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It's just a peace of mind of knowing that if you have a $6,000 ring. I had somebody last year that listed or scheduled a $40,000 ring.
Oh, geez, really?
He inherited it, but it was a nice ring.
Oh, I bet it was. It better be.
Yeah.
Well, so that's good. So it's just basically just covering. Don't just count on your homeowner's insurance. If you have something very valuable, schedule it on your homeowner's insurance.
Yeah, like some people do furs. I mean, somebody else had a valuable piece of fur, and they had to go get it appraised, but it's a lot of money. So why lose something that costs $20,000? It's worth $20,000 and barely get anything for it.
True. Yeah, exactly. Our next hot button here is flood zone. We're talking about flood zones here. So
you talked about, you alluded to it. Yeah. How you look up flood.
Yes, I do.
Flood zones to make sure a house is in a flood zone or not in a flood zone before you go look at it. At least you know what people are getting into. But just to let flood zone, if a house is in a flood zone and it requires flood insurance, on average, it's going to be between the ranges. It's a wide range, but $2,000 a year to $4,000 a year. And so that's separate from a home insurance policy. So if you're determining, for property taxes, what your budget is, you're incorporating the mortgage, you're incorporating home insurance, flood insurance is on top of that. And so I would incorporate that into your monthly budget if you're buying a home in a flood zone.
Right.
That's what you're going to be. That's what you're going to be spending, and typically, that's not going to go away. So you're not going to have a house in a flood zone today, and just magically it's not going to be in a flood zone 5 years from now, and you don't have to get flood insurance.
Well, too, your
Sometimes
mortgage brokers out there, they're going to, if the house is in a flood zone, they're going to want you to get flood insurance
Absolutely.
before
That's
they give you the
mandatory.
loan.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
that's
mandatory.
mandatory.
Yeah,
Right.
it's
So
mandatory.
it's something you have to do if you do buy a home in a flood zone.
Absolutely.
So that's great information. The next question that we have here, or hot button, is shopping. For those procrastinators out there, shopping sooner in the buying process. Get out there, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Call your agent as soon as possible. As soon as you get a contract on the home, you can even call them beforehand, and they can look up prior losses on that home even, believe it or not. So
Okay.
a lot of times we can't give details on it because it doesn't show us everything. But as an insurance agent, when we run loss history reports on a property, it'll show us the last 5 years if there's a hail claim that was paid out. We can't give details or anything like that, and a lot of times it doesn't show that. But at least we know, if that's
Something
out
was
there.
up.
Yeah. But also, if calling them earlier, we can, if it's the first time you ever bought a home, or if you haven't bought a home in a while, you don't know a lot of times what questions to ask about home insurance. You're buying probably your biggest investment, in your lifetime. And so why not make sure you properly protect it? And it's easier to properly protect it if you actually get involved in the process early, instead of if you wait too long, you might not be asking all the questions that you might ask, because
you're going to feel rushed. You're going to be rushed.
Yeah, and that's the problem.
Yeah. So try. I know I'm probably bad at it, but whatever. Try not to procrastinate. Waiting till the last minute. Get out there. Get your quotes. Talk to a couple people. Talk to Raghu about getting your homeowners insurance, because definitely you want to get a couple estimates, or just get a feel for who you get along with too. So do your homework before you jump in and get something. This next thing here is bundling auto, motorcycle, etc. with home insurance. What's the benefit of that?
Extra discounts. That's extra discounts. It's a one-stop shop, to where if you have everything all with one carrier, one agent that you love, they know everything that's going on with. It's almost like taking your car to the same mechanic every time. They know everything that's going on with your car.
Yes.
Take it to the mechanic every single time something a little happens. It's like that, but you get extra discounts. And a lot of times when you're buying a first-time home buyer, you're combining households in a lot of times, right? You got newlyweds, and typically they have auto insurance in two different spots, two different agents, two different companies.
Yeah.
So they're not getting the multi-car discount, but they will with if they're doing it with the home insurance company that they get home insurance with, right? And now they're combining, and they have both cars on the same policy, so they get the multi-car discount. They get the multi-policy discount because the home insurance discount will be added to the auto insurance, and vice versa. And then if they have toys like motorcycles and boats, that's just extra discounts that they get.
Oh, wow. So it can be advantageous to you to take everything in one company and then get those discounts.
Absolutely.
So I think that was our last hot button too. I think that was the last one on the list. So, well, I want to thank everyone for listening in. Again, my name is Dawn Black with Century 21 First Class Homes. The reason I do these little Facebook Lives is, number one, to spread knowledge, because we want to be a resource. I want to support our local businesses in the area, like Allstate Insurance, Raghu's office. I would like to, support them. And I think that'll help. By me doing this helps. It's kind of like hopefully a rolling stone. It'll help everybody out. So I want to thank you, Raghu, for doing this Facebook Live with me. If anybody had any questions, we'll kind of go back in and check it out and answer them, because it didn't nothing came up on my feed. So we're gonna check it out. But until our next Facebook Live. Raghu, I would like you to please, again, let people know how they can get in touch with you for their homeowners insurance.
Yeah, absolutely. And Dawn, I want to say thank you so much for allowing me to be on here. I really, really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Yeah, totally. As far as getting a hold of me, the easiest way is through my cell phone number. So it's 847-302-0690. Call or text.
Oh, great, great. And if you can catch it, it's at the bottom of the screen. So if you want to write that down, please do keep it in your records. I guess that's it. I want to thank everybody for joining us. Be on the lookout in March, probably around the middle of March. We'll be doing another one. I'm going to put that tickler out there when we get closer to that date. And everybody make it a great week. Well, no, it's almost the weekend, isn't it? The weekend. It's tomorrow's Thursday already. Oh my God. All right, everybody. Everybody have a great rest of your week. And we'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye. My mouse. Where's my mouse?